What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast Powertown Ultras 2-pack. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. Alright, so I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but the pre-order for this dropped like halfway through 2023. And it is February of 2025. That's a long time for a pre-order. That maybe that's just me, I don't know, but I don't like for my pre-orders to be that long. But I digress. This is the 2-pack from Powertown. I think this is the only multi-pack they've done so far, and I only have like 1 or 2 of Series 1. I'm just not like much of the classics, like classic wrestling guys. I didn't order any of Series 2. I ordered the Impact figures. When will they show up? Only God knows. But I do have these two to show off. So I figured I would go ahead and do a review for you guys. Let's go ahead and get into the accessories, then we will get into the figures themselves. Before we get into the accessories, for it taking so long for these figures to come, they actually offered a collectible coin, which is kind of interesting. On this side it says Brian Myers, the most professional wrestler, digital media champion, and it has his name sideways and it has a picture of the figure. On this side it does have the belt collector, which is back when Cardona was doing that gimmick, NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. The coin is really cool. It's got some heft to it. The detail is really good. I like this a lot. I just don't know what I'm gonna do with coin in my collection. Maybe I might take a little stand or something and put it up on the major shelf in my display room. But accessories time. For Cardona, he comes with that amazing robe, which we will talk about in a second. He comes with 2 titles. One of them we didn't know anything about until we got it in hand. He comes with 2 head scans, the one you see on the figure, and then the tongue out expression. I don't like this one as much. It looks like him, it's just not my favorite. Maybe it looks like the eyes are a little too close together. Maybe that's just me. He does come with 2 like kind of open splayed out hands, and then he comes with 2 fisted hands and his very unique skin tone they gave him. As you see here, these are fisted hands, and then he comes with a middle finger hand for both hands. Now I think it's weird that he didn't come with like the L hand shape, so he could do like the Long Island, and then he replaced the I with the middle finger. I think that was definitely a weird choice. I guess they just didn't want to have to do another mold. That's whatever. For Brian Myers, he does come with the exact same set of hands as you see here. The fisted hands are on the figure. He has these open, kind of gripping hands, kind of not. I don't know how to explain those. And then the 2 middle finger hands. He comes with 3 head scans though, which is interesting. He comes with the one with the mask on, and like the hair is wet, kind of wraps around, as you see. Not wraps around, kind of sits flat, as you see there. And then he comes with an open mouth head sculpt with the hair it looks like it's longer, but it's just kind of splayed out in the back like this. It's nice and bendy. You don't have to worry about that chipping or anything like you would on a custom head. And then he comes with a straight face head sculpt, which I think might be the best Brian Myers head sculpt that we have ever received. Actually, no. I think the screaming head matches better. This looks a little bit like the Super 7, but better. This looks even better. He comes with 2 hood options. You see the one as it is kind of laying flat like that, and then he has one where you really all you have to do is just kind of hook it on the inside of the jacket. Let's see if I can show you properly. You just kind of have it where it sits inside here, these little flaps, and then you have a hood up version of it, which I didn't try that on the figure. I'm not going to display it with that anyway. He comes with the Impact Digital Media Championship. These figures are so old at this point that this is the Impact Digital Media Championship. TNA was rebranded back to TNA in January of 2024. So it's been a while. It's still a beautiful title. I really do love this championship. I meant to get a custom made and I never did, but now I need to get a custom of the TNA version of it. It's a beautiful title. I do love this. Myers also comes with his denim jacket on the right hand side. It does have the most professional wrestler, Brian Myers. There's like some really small font at the bottom. Bayside, New York is what that says, which is funny because he always calls himself the Prince of Queens. He does have his M. Myers logo on the left side, along with the Myers with the long hair and the mask on the back. Normally his mask would have an M, like his gear here, but this attire is based off Jushin Thunder Liger, even though I would like to call this the White Ranger attire. But we'll get into that in a second. But that is the denim jacket for Myers. Go ahead and put those arms down. Put him back there. For Cardona, he comes with the Internet Championship, which is hidden behind the robe in the packaging. So if you opened yours and you did not get this out, you might want to go back and get that. The title belt is beautiful. Always ready on this side, always ready on that side. Internet Champion in the back with the skull. I think like the sculpt is there, but the paintwork isn't there for this. It's not really legible on the sides or the Internet Champion part, which is unfortunate because this is such a beautiful title. Luckily, I have the Forbidden Figurines version, which you guys will see in just a minute when we do some comparisons. But this is very nice to have like an official release version of this title. He also comes with the NWA title, which is beautiful. I like this version a little bit better than Mattel's version, honestly. You have the World Heavyweight Champion at the top, NWA, it says National Wrestling Alliance there on the globe. Wrestling has the USA flag, has Canada, United Kingdom, Mexico, and Japan. I got a little paint chip in the middle of the Japan one. That's a beautiful title too. Has the little studs here. I don't like the way that their belts clasp in the back. It's just a nitpick. I don't like that personally. I like the, it's crazy to say, I do like the way that the Jazzwares ones clasp in the back though. But it is fine. So you get 3 beautiful title belts in this set, which is very nice. And it's not like they're tag team titles. This is 3 different titles. No ounce of reuse across the figures here. Like if you think about it, the plate here is 5 different molded pieces. Well, no, hold on, because it's mirrored. There'd be 3 different mirrored molded pieces. Here, this would be 2 different molded pieces, and this would be 5 different molded pieces here. So that's pretty crazy once you think about it like that. For Cardona, he does have this robe, like I said. It is glittered out as can be. It does have the MC logos everywhere, has his skull logos everywhere, has like even more little like subtle black designs in there. Now I do have one nitpick with the robe, and supposedly this robe was the holdup on this set being delivered way earlier, and that is just how bad the M Cardona looks on the back of the figure. You can see clear as day where it's like cut out, and for it to take as long as it did, I can see that exact same quality with like custom shirt makers. You know what I mean? Like the guys you order from on Instagram. And like, well, even so here, like on this shirt here, you can't even see where he cut the logo out. It looks like it's one solid piece made into the shirt. Whereas an official company has it where you can see the light bouncing off of it where it's different. Whereas you don't have that problem here. So that is a little disappointing, especially considering how long it took for us to get these. Also, this gets glitter everywhere. It is quite a mess. Well, I'm going to go heat up these figures to loosen up the joints a little bit because I always get a little scared with Powertown. So let me take a quick break. All right, so I went and I heated up the figures, and Cardona's arms are still very, very tight. Not so much the right one as much as the left one. You hear that? That's not wanting to move that easily. Now, the guys have been on record saying these are their best figures ever, and I think from a visual standpoint they are definitely right there, but I look at this from a practicality standpoint, and my issues with Powertown are the same as my issues with their Super 7 figures, and that they just don't have the posability or the playability as a Mattel or even a Jazzwares figure has to offer. And that's to be expected because this is basically a startup company, so this is a little more acceptable with these guys more so than Super 7. But I digress there. Let's go ahead and get into the figures. We'll do Myers first, and then we'll get to Cardona. I do love this attire from Myers a lot. I don't think the heads fit as well as the masked head for Myers, but that is fine. I think the gear is beautiful. That ab crunch is very hidden unless you turn it up like that, then you can see it. But that's very hidden. I almost thought it didn't have one at first. As far as range of motion, he can actually hit the splits, which is kind of surprising for a Powertown figure. Dude, I am very worried about the legs though, because they've had legs issues. The knee, I'm not wanting to test past that. I do like the knee pads on here though a lot. The boots, they got a nice swivel. The swivel's kind of loose. The ankles on Myers are not that bad. Cardona's ankles are a little weak, I've noticed. But it looks good. As far as range of motion, he can get all the way around. No big problem there. And does have that single jointed arm, which is fine, but you know, we've came to expect new things in the toy industry. But that is one thing. Also, one real big complaint about the Myers figure is that the tattoos for his daughters look like they were done 20, 30 years ago. They have that weird green color to them that tattoos tend to have on like old people. You all know what I'm talking about here. They don't look fresh by any means. Like, I understand that he's had them for a while, but like, they don't look that old. That is the one big complaint about the Myers. As far as Cardona, oh well, got a little weak ankle thing going on. Cardona, they made him look bow-legged as heck. Look at this. What is going on with this leg? And I'm like kind of scared to try and manhandle it to like fix it. I don't know. But as far as like the detail in this figure, it is unreal. The head is growing on me the more I see it. I guess it's just because this skin tone is an absurd color, even more absurd than his Series 2 Super 7 figure. Does have the MC on the elbow pad here. Has, what are those? Razors on the other elbow pad here. It does have NWA, Matt Cardona, Wrestling Alliance. Oh, it's got the MCWA. There you go. It's got the splatter paint effect, which looks very good. He had the same thing on his Series 2 Super 7. Has the MC logo on the front. Has the MC logo on both knee sleeves. Has the LI with the L hand and the middle finger on the right knee pad. Has his skull logo, which we all know and love, on the left knee pad. And then the boots do have the inverted MC on both of them. As far as his range of motion, he can kind of hit the splits here. But the single jointed arms are not going to work as well because of the elbow pads. I'm not testing the arm past that. I'm not going to have an expensive figure like this break, especially when these are selling for nearly $200 on secondary market. But I do want to compare him to his Super 7 figure, which also has that crazy tan. Now, you can see there's a massive difference in size here. That's the big complaint with Powertown. That's the reason I don't collect them like more than I already do, because that size difference is absurd. And I think the Super 7, it scales fairly well. Let's compare the Super 7 to, I don't know, who do I have laying here? We'll compare the Super 7 to Tyler Bate. That's a nice, respectable height difference. I think the Cardona might be a hair undersized, or Tyler Bate might be a hair oversized for this, but that can work with wrestling figures. But as far as Powertown, they are their own scale. I guess they might scale with McFarlane. Actually, I think they'd be a little bit bigger maybe than, or taller than McFarlane. They're too freaking big. That's the reason I don't have more. It's the same thing with the Myers, honestly. As far as picking whether I like the Super 7 or the Powertown more, I like the Super 7, I like the Powertown more for Myers here. I wish it was this scale, but I like the detail and the attire and everything else here. As far as Cardona, I'm gonna have to go with the Super 7, even though I like the head better on the Powertown. I love the gear they chose here for this one. I love the Jurassic Park Super 7 Matt Cardona figure. It's personal preference at this point. But the Powertown figures are good. They will do fine on the shelf. And then for the very last comparison, I wanted to compare the Internet Championship to the Custom Internet Championship. and you see obviously there's a massive difference in that. But I will let you guys be the judge of that. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and last but not least, take it easy.